Welcome, friends. Hi, my name is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're a new viewer, hello. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Today's video is going to be an updated version of my favorite single sparkly shiny shifty shimmery amazing eye-catching indie singles. I did a video like this, I believe it was last year, maybe it was the year before. Regardless, I've acquired quite a few more since the filming of that video, so I wanted to show you a little update on my favorite amazing indie shadows. Anyhow, we're going to jump right on into it. I'm just going to show you my full collection of indie singles, and we're going to pick out some of my very favorites. Let's jump into it. So last year I had, maybe it was the year before last. You know what? It was 2020, because that's when the pandemic started, and that was when I placed my first Cliona order. So as of mid-2020, I had 8 Cliona shadows. I think it was mid-2020. Whenever they got to me. Might have been like June, July, I can't remember. But I had 8 of them. Now I have, they're like in Tetris shape. I'm not really sure what's happening here. It's roughly like 50 some. So yeah, I've acquired quite a few more, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites. I don't typically film up close like this, and it's a little awkward to do in my filming setup, so we're going to do the best that we can today. Anyhow, this is my Cliona collection. And you're going to see like random cat hairs floating around, so be forewarned. So I'm going to pick out my favorites from what I have, and the first one I want to show you is this one right here. This one is very multi-dimensional. If I'll be able to get it to shift. Oh yeah. This one is called Forge. And it's just super shifty. I'm going to swatch these as well for you. You can just see the intense shift in this one. So beautiful. It's one of my favorite multichromes. There's just so much dimension to it. And yeah, that's Forge. Now, some of these I may have mentioned the first time I filmed this video. I can't honestly remember which ones I had at that time. But if they're still favorites, I'm going to point them out to you again because they're still favorites. The next one I want to share with you is this one here, Royalty. And Royalty is just a really stunning purple, but there's a lot of shiftiness to it. There's a lot of little glitter particles, and it just sparkles, and it's stunning, and it's my kind of shade. It's got some blue reflect in there. Obviously, it's just a really beautiful purple, very shiny. You can't really see all of the glitter in it, though. It's just stunning. It's one of my favorite purple shadows. The next one I'm going to show you is very similar to this one. Again, this one is Royalty. It's just so pretty. You can see most of it right there. Okay, this next shade that I was talking to you about that's kind of similar to that one is called Regal. And Regal is much so like Royalty in the fact that it's just a really beautiful shimmery purple. But this one doesn't have as much blue reflect in it as Royalty does. This one is more, it's just as sparkly, just as like glittery looking. But this one, you'll just have to see for yourself. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side. So we have Regal and we have Royalty. The next shade that I want to share with you is this one right here. And this one is Vermillion. Gosh, it looks kind of like maroon or like a hot pink right now on camera. But in person, it's got this really beautiful like orange shift, not orange, like a peachy shift to it. But anytime anybody is wearing this, it's so distinctive. I can immediately tell what it is. It's just got this beautiful, like right there. There's a little bit of green, but not much, just like a tad if you hold it at the right angle, like right there. But mostly it's that pink and peach shift, and it's just stunning. Look at that. And I do have these organized in a certain way just because that's how my brain works. The next shade that I'm going to share with you is Tracery. And I like this one just because of how it's not neon purple, but it's a very, very bright purple. And I don't really have any other shades like this. It's very beautiful. It's not so much a shifty shade, it's just a very shiny, bright purple shade. It's stunning, so I wanted to share it. It's just really pretty. Not a whole lot of shiftiness to it, as I said. She's just shiny, sparkly. This next shade is Smolder, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Forge, but it's got more of that like very bright maroon like you see right here. But it also has the shiftiness to it, if I can get it to show up here. There's the green. Very stunning. I'll be honest with you, I really don't use like the full multi-chromes very often just because they are a little tricky to work with, unless you're Millie from Bad to the Brow and you have all kinds of experience. They're a little tricky for like the everyday consumer to work with. But look how pretty this one is. We're going to have to do a side-by-side of this one in Forge. God, that one's stunning too, isn't it? Like jaw-dropping. Wow. We have Forge. We have Smolder. Wow, they're very similar. This one is more of a muted, like not a muted maroon, but like more of a muted pink. I don't know. This one's just got that really bright, hot pink. But they're very similar. I don't want this to be purely a Cleona video, but there's quite a few in here that I really love. The next one is a little bit of a surprise just when you're looking at all of the awesomeness in this palette. By the way, this is an Adept Cosmetics, the Adept palette. I really love this. I have 3 of them, I believe. I like the fact that they're double-sided and they are divided with this little plastic piece here so I can fill this side as well. Anyway, the shade that I'm referring to is Throne. And this one's not I wouldn't call this a multi-chrome, more so like a duochrome, but it's yellow and it's got this really beautiful pink shift to it and it's extremely reflective. And I just love it. It doesn't look like anything too super special when I'm showing it like this, but I really enjoy this one. There it is. You can see that really pretty pink shift there. I guess I really don't need to swatch all of them since you're kind of looking at them, you know, with a finger swatch. This one here is Majesty, and it's a really gorgeous, vibrant orange. This is from their Vibrant Multichromes, I believe. But yeah, what you see is what you get with this one. Very vibrant orange. It's got that yellow shift to it. And it's just really beautiful. A little deeper there. What are you all doing? My cat likes to climb up underneath my covers right now. That's what he's trying to do, and he's about to knock my palettes onto the floor. Lovely. It's just stunning. Like, look at that. Right? It's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to share just a few more with you here from this Cleona collection. This is the shadow that I'm wearing on my lid right now. on top of the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz, and it's called Opulent. And it's just a really stunning, sparkly, glittery, beautiful shade. There's really not much shiftiness to it, at least I don't think. I think it's just very sparkly. It's like your neutral shade on crack, right? Very beautiful. I think the hardest is going to be picking out some of the iridescent shades. They're all so very beautiful, and I love using an iridescent to, you know, make that inner corner highlight pop. You can even use them as cheek highlighters if you're, you know, feeling real frisky, but all of them are really, really beautiful. I need to narrow it down a little bit. It's a little too vague. Another shade that I really enjoy is this one right here. This one is called Bloodline. And it's just a really gorgeous, like, purpley pink. It's got lots of little sparkles in it, micro flecks. It is a little shifty, but it's more so than anything, just very sparkly, glittery, beautiful. Like, you could see a little bit of that shiftiness there, the blue on the tip of my finger. Yeah, I can't even get it to fully convey just how beautiful this is on camera. A lot of these shades are like that, though. Now this is one that a swatch definitely does it some justice here. You can see it a little bit more, that shiftiness to it. All right, how many more Cliona shades do I want to share? Because we could do this all day. I could just show purely Cliona shades. Another shade that I think is really beautiful, that kind of reminds me of Tracery, which was this one here, is this shade right here. And this one is enamel. It is purple, but it has that strong blue shift, and it's just really beautiful. My cat likes to get into all my stuff. Yeah. Let's now move on to some of these shades up top. One of the greens that I do want to share with you is, whoop, got lucky that time, is this one right here. This one is called Lineage, and I think it's in the first set that I ever got. I think I shared this in my last video where I shared my favorites with you all. It's just such a unique shade, and I love it. It's this really beautiful, like, sea green shade, and it's got a pink reflect to it that you probably can't see right now, but I'm going to try to share it with you. And again, it's just beautiful green, very strong pink shift. I do think that we need to do a hand swatchy. This is really tough to do. But you can see as you shift it forward, it gets a little bit more intense green. I don't know, I just love this one. I do really love this one. So for the longest time, I really enjoyed TerraMoons Red Giant, and I still do, but mine came really hard pressed in the pan, and now I kind of have to dig to get any payoff. But this one is Ray, obviously still from Cliona, and when you're looking at it straight on, it doesn't look like anything too crazy special, but it does have that really brilliant red shift just like Red Giant does. Yet this one, for me, I like this one a lot better just because it's super shifty, super metallic, shows up without me having to fight with it, so I'd rather reach for this one than Red Giant. Like, look at that. Awesomeness. You all will have to let me know down below which shiny, shifty, shimmery shades are your favorite. Do you have any? Have you been wanting any? And yeah, which ones are you most excited to grab? I think this one is Luxe. How did I know? That's how you know it's good. You can spot it out of all of them shades just with a first glance. This one's Luxe. And there's going to be a lot of shiftiness that you can't see that I can. It's got like a green, a pink. I'm just going to try here. See, but it's super foiled looking, super metallic. Like, look at this. You can see a little bit of like blue, green. It's got yellow. I swear to you, it's got pink. It's just such a unique, shifty, foiled, yummy shade. These are the types of shadows that you can just do a one and done all over the lid, put some mascara on, ta-da, you're done. Just because it's so beautiful. There's a couple more in here that I want to point out quickly. Like I said, I really do enjoy all of their iridescent shades up here, so if you're in the market for good iridescent shimmery sparkly shadows, you can't go wrong with any of the Clionadh ones. I just don't want to take up the entire video showing just Clionadh because we've already done plenty of that so far. So I'm going to show you two more and then we're going to be done with my Clionadh shadows. This one is Gloaming. I haven't been showing you the backs. Do I need to? You know, I'm not so fancy, okay? I'm not good at this. But this one's really special because it's super, super sparkly and it's got all kinds of reflectiveness to it as well. It almost looks like it's gray when you look at it in the pan, but it's got this really strong pink shift. And it's just a beast of a shadow. It's beautiful. Super flaky though, so if you're not into that, you might not like this one, but it's just so stunning. I don't care. So beautiful. Like what? Last one, I promise, from Clionadh. Gilding? Okay. Gilding is a lot like gloaming in that it's the very flaky, reflective, like sparkly shades. They have a whole collection of this specific, well, a whole, I don't want to call it a collection. It's a whole line of this specific shadow. And they all start with G, and they're all freaking gorgeous. And they're all flaky, but stunning. Like, next level stunning. Look at that. I'm trying to be quick here because this has taken a while. Like, would you look at that? Like, what planet? What? Again, this one is Gilding. I just look like the Cullens now. I've got sparkly skin. I don't think it's gone anywhere. Okay, that's gonna wrap up my Clionadh shadows, my favorites. Look, I'm sure I could pick out at least 10 more, at least 15 more, but I just don't think that would be fair to all of my other shadows, right? Because I wouldn't have time to share all of them with you if I did that. And there's just so many good ones. I can't help it. Clionadh knows what they're doing with their shadows. They're very beautiful and special, jaw-dropping, just gorgeous shadows. So if you're in the market for this type of shadow and you don't know whether or not you would like these, they're gorgeous. Okay, we're going to move on to another brand. This is driving me crazy because I need to put it back the way I took it apart, and I can't remember how I did that. Nice. Okay. Now it's all back together and pretty. Let's move on to another brand. All right. Let's bring down. Well, this is massive compared to the Adept palette, huh? We might have to zoom that out a little bit. This is my TerraMoons collection, which is a little massive. I have 71 TerraMoons shadows, and I love the majority of them. And I wouldn't say that I don't like any of them, but there's definitely some favorites that I have in here, and I'm excited to share them with you all. So my TerraMoons collection grew rapidly last year. They came out with several really beautiful, amazing collections, and I picked up full collections. So that's why this is so massive. The first shade that I want to share with you, God, there's so many good ones, but the first one that really calls out to me that I just can't not mention, and I've mentioned it before and I've done numerous looks with it, is the Cosmos. And this one, my friends, is just one of those shadows where when you have it, you know you don't have anything else like it just because it's so unique. This one specifically is super flaky, but it's very shifty, sparkly, so freaking multi-dimensional. Like you got that green shift, you have purple, orange, blue. It's just stunning. So freaking pretty. And every time I use it, I feel like I create very different eye looks with it just because it's so versatile. Like you're really seeing that strong pink shift here, but there's the green and it's got blue. It's so hard to get everything to show up on camera. But this is probably one of my all-time favorite single shadows. Like, look at that. You can see the majority of the shifts there. You can see the orange, the green, the blue, the purple. Like, wow. It's so stunning. If you get any shadows from TerraMoons at all, grab the Cosmos. It will completely ignite your love for this type of shadow, in my opinion. Although my love was already pretty strong by the time I grabbed this one. It's so freaking pretty. It's one of those shades that, like, if you put it over top of other shades, it'll just transform into something completely different. Another shadow that is super unique to my collection is Laloon. And this one is really hard to see just how beautiful it is. I'm going to say that about a lot of these because it's true. It's very gray toned in the pan, but it's got that green shift. Come on now. It's got... God, it's hard to see, isn't it? But you can see a little shiftiness there. It's just unique, very unique. It's got pink. It almost looks like it has a little bit of orange in there. Green, purple. Just very, very unique. Now, some of these shadows do stain because of the base that they have in them, so my hand might get a little stained up. The next shade that I want to share with you that is just, it's beautiful, but it's going to be really hard to convey to you how beautiful it is, just because, again, that's how these shadows kind of work. But straight on, it's got that really deep, like a maroon shift. Oh, by the way, this one is called Solar Expansion. I've used this one in quite a few looks, but when you shift it at an angle, it's got the green. It's very deep, so it almost looks black in certain angles. It does have like an orange shift to it at times, but it's very special to my collection because I don't have anything else like this. Like, look at that. So stunning. It's almost like a rainbow, right? A beautiful, shifty, sparkly shadow rainbow. So yummy. All right, the next shade that I want to share with you, I do like the one next to it. I'm not going to swatch it. This one doesn't have as much shiftiness to it. Well, that's a lie. Yeah, it does. This one's called Midnight Winter, and it looks like a black, but it's got a purple and green reflect to it. I feel like I'll be able to get you to see it, though. Maybe. You can see the green. Oh, there's the purple. Yeah. So it does have some shiftiness to it. It's really beautiful. It's not one I use a whole lot. It's very deep, but it is gorgeous nonetheless. Okay, the next shade that I want to share with you is very similar to one of my Clionadh shades that I shared with you. This one right here is similar to Vermillion. Oh, I stabbed it. So stunning. This one's called Venus, and if you placed them side by side or you swatched them side by side, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's got that really beautiful pink shade that shifts to a peach, and it also shifts to a green shade. Again, I'm not going to swatch this one either because it looks just like that shade. Or should I? We'll do a little finger swatchy here. This one seems to be just a little more metallic than Vermillion, but not by much. Maybe just a little tiny, teeny bit, but they're pretty dang similar. God, it's so hard to narrow down my TerraMoons shades because they're all just so freaking pretty. All of my special shades are pretty. What am I talking about? I do want to share with you this one here. This one is Moontide, and I'm fairly certain that I shared Moontide with you all the first video I made. This shadow, it's just something so beautiful and special. I already have a backup of it just in case I run through this one. It does remind me a lot of one of the Clionadh shades. I can't remember if it's Regal or Royalty, but I know that it looks very similar. It's not identical, but it is very similar. But it's got that blue shift, that strong purple, and it's super reflective. Take a look at that. So stunning. There's that blue. Yeah, it is so beautiful. Like, this is what dreams are made of, y'all. 100%. Never knew at 38 I would be this interested in sparkly, shiny, shifty shadows. Never in a million years, but here we are. Another shade that I have loved from the beginning. It's one of the first shadows I bought from TerraMoons. This one is called UFO, and I love this one, and I'm pretty sure I shared this one in my first video as well. It's still a favorite. It's this really vibrant purple, and it does have a slight red shift to it. It's kind of hard to get that to show up, but it is stunning nonetheless. Like, look at this purple, would ya? It's just yummy. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see that red. I don't even know if I would call it a red. It's just the specific shift to it that makes it something super special. That's the one thing that I've noticed about TerraMoons that I don't notice with Clionadh is that there's a little bit of staining sometimes. I'm not really sure why that is. I mean, some of these shades are a lot more pigmented than my Clionadh shades. They actually have base color to them. And a lot of the Clionadh shades are, I don't want to call them toppery shades, but some of them are. This is the next one that I want to share with you all. Again, another beautiful purple eyeshadow. It's called Helix Nebula. This one also has kind of that slight red shift to it. Really hard to describe. And it's kind of hard to see. It's such a yummy shade. I'm gonna have to speed this up a little bit. It's getting late, y'all. Can't swatch all of them. I ain't got time. This next one is called Ceres, and it's not like it's super special in terms of like the shiftiness because it's just purple, but it is super reflective and shiny, and I am going to swatch this one so you can see that. And that's what makes this one a standout, in my opinion. Like, look at that. It's so freaking beautiful. It's just so reflective. So pretty. Definitely a favorite. The next shade that I want to share with you is another multichrome, and this one is called Mercury, and it's just a really, really beautiful like orange shade, but it does have some shiftiness to it. It has a green shift. You can kind of see it there. This one I love. It's just so smooth. Like when you swatch it, it's so extremely metallic looking. Like, look how beautiful. Super foiled looking. And I love that in a shadow. Oh yeah. Like I said a little bit ago with my Cleona, I could go all day with swatching more of these, so obviously I'm not going to do that. There are a few more that I'm just going to show really quickly. I'm not going to swatch. Tidal Flare is another really beautiful shifty purple shade. It's this really kind of grungy purple, and it does have a little bit of shiftiness to it. Very beautiful. The shade, one of the shades that just released, I believe this is M51. Yeah. This one is your typical like green shifty maroon duochrome, but it is super foiled and super intense. I'm going to swatch this one for you. It's pretty stunning. The green in this one is like almost radioactive looking, which makes it fun and unique, but it's definitely probably my favorite one like this that I have. There's lots of brands that make this specific duochrome that shifts the green and the maroon, but this one's definitely a favorite because it's super just radiant, super shifty. Yummy. Now, some of my very all-time favorite iridescents are from TerraMoons. They just really know how to make a beautiful iridescent shadow. Specifically, the shade Phoenix is my all-time favorite. I believe it's this one. Oh yeah, like I can't even mistake it when I see it in the palette. It's super, super reflective and foiled looking, and when you have it on the lid, just the way the light hits it can turn it this really beautiful orange shade. It's just stunning. I'm gonna have to swatch it so you can see it. It's very soft. It's so beautiful. Like, would you look at it? It's just next level. I'm here to tell you. So freaking stunning. You can see all that shiftiness there and how bright and reflective it is. Yeah, Phoenix is a must if you're looking into TerraMoons. It's going to be hard to narrow down the rest because, again, I really love a lot of these. The next one I'm going to share with you is also a favorite. Obviously, this one is Lunar Spectrum. I feel like I also shared this the last time. This one feels like it's getting a little bit hard pressed, which is sad because it's one of my favorites. It's got cat hair in it. Nice. Yeah, because you can kind of see like the little hard spots. Why it does that. We'll just pluck them out. How about that? But again, this one's very foiled looking. It's got a very strong pink shift to it. It's got a green shift. It's just beautiful. Also a must-have if you're looking into TerraMoons shadows. Like, look at that. Like, are you kidding? So beautiful. I would just like to slather my entire body in one of these, for reals. The next one I want to share with you is Light Year. Light Year is another one of those beautiful iridescent shades. There's just so much shiftiness. It's super, super reflective. You can see a little bit of it there. But this one, you just got like this really bright green, yellow. She's just gorgeous. Like, would you look at that? I would probably say if you're looking for iridescence, go for these. And then the iridescent glitter multichromes from Cliona, like Gilding and Gloaming and all that. They're all just so stunning. Now can you guys see why I'm totally infatuated with these shadows? Like, I cannot help it. We can't go on like this all night, but there's lots of other iridescent shades right there that are just absolutely stunning. And we're going to stop there for now. And yeah, those are some of my favorite shadows from TerraMoons. There's another one over here called Blood Moon. This one is a very deep black and it's got a red shift to it. Again, it's very unique to my collection. I don't have anything else like this. I'm not going to swatch it. What you see is what you get with this one. There's the black. There's the red shift. And it's very intense. But it's stunning. So yeah, those are some of my favorites from TerraMoons. This video is going to be 9 hours long. We have yet another colored rain. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I have 5 of these colored rain empty palettes, and all but one of them is completely filled. Because I'm a freak. So this one has a hodgepodge of different types of shadows in it. We've got Adept on the right. We have Lethal here. Odds and Ends right here. I think there's Makeup Geek. I think that's Natasha Denona. I've got Pastel Rose UK. I have Baby Bat Beauty. Tracey's Powder Room. I think there's even some Kristen Lee cosmetics down here. Beshi Beauty. And then I've got Touch of Glam up top. So I'm just going to pick out my favorites in totality. I'm not going to grab from each brand because I don't have favorites in each brand. Let's start off with Touch of Glam. This one is such a beautiful, stunning, like, they just kind of came out of left field with this one. This one's called Lucid Lavender. And when I swatch it, you'll see why it's so beautiful. Right now, you can kind of see it's a little shifty. It's got that really sparkly purple. But when you swatch it, it's super foiled, for one. Very reflective. It's got that green shift. Just really beautiful purple shift. She's stunning. Like, look at that. It kind of reminded me of the Cosmos from TerraMoons a little bit. So I did a side-by-side on Instagram of both of them, and they're just not the same. They're very different. So if you want to see a side-by-side, head over to my Instagram and you can see that. Make you work for it. I just being lazy now. I don't feel like getting out the other one. But it's still a very beautiful shade. I love this one. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all this glitter off of me. It's a lot. The next shade I want to share with you is from Tracey's Powder Room. Come on. Whoa, weird. This shade is called Crazy Cash, and let me tell you, like, I'd never heard of Tracey's Powder Room before. I think I heard, was it Amy Loves Makeup talking about him? I feel like it was, but I can't be 100% sure, so don't quote me. But this shade is super special. Very reflective. Like, you see that? The first time I used it was when I was at the beach. I did a very mermaid-esque type look with it. But it is something, it's just beautiful. Like, look how shiny and reflective this is. Yeah. I'm glad I have that one. Like, what? So freaking stunning. Yummy. Can you tell I'm starting to get lazy with it? This video is going to be 900 hours long. I can't get the glitter off. The next shade that I'm going to share with you is actually from Adept Cosmetics, and it's this really stunning green up here. This green, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just super pigmented. It's a very intense, like, emerald green. It's just beautiful. I've used it in a couple of looks, and I've absolutely loved the way it's turned out. I'm not going to do a full swatch, but you can see it there. Like, look how stunning this green is. It's just so deep and rich and yummy, right? That one is called ACI 14, by the way. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you out of this palette. Yet another palette from Colored Rain. This has all of my Davina shadows in it, as well as all of my Glam Shop shadows. So Davina is, I think, the first indie brand that I tried singles from because of Amy Loves Makeup. Is it? I don't want to lie to you, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I mean, I was hooked after I tried them. I thought it was TerraMoons. No, it was Davina. You know what? I can't remember. Either way, it was one of the two. But regardless, I fell in love with these types of shadows. Now, Davina has a very different formula from TerraMoons. TerraMoons shadows are more, how do I want to put it? They're a heavier consistency. A lot of Davina's shadows are very, not toppery, but they're kind of transparent. There's really not much base to them. Like, they're very sparkly, and even shifty, but there's really not much base to them. So like the one I just swatched, it's not a favorite, but this one is Cygnus. Not Sickness, Cygnus. But do you see what I mean? There's like no base to it. It's just, it's very transparent. Still pretty and shifty. It's just transparent. And a lot of their shadows are like that. Let's go ahead and pick out favorites really quickly. Davina did come out with a set of multi-chromes. So up top here, from here to here, is all of their multi-chromes. And I mean, honestly, they're all really beautiful. One of the ones that stands out most to me, though, is the shade Australis or Australis. This one is a really gorgeous pink, and it's got a green shift to it. Like, it just reminds me of watermelon. I mean, look at that. I'm gonna have to swatch it so you can see it in all its glory. It's so beautiful. Like, do you see that? It kind of reminds me of Smolder from Cleona. There's gonna be a lot of dupes between these brands because there's only so many different colors that you can make into multi-chromes. And a lot of them, you know, are similar between brands. But their multi-chromes are very smooth. Like, look, doesn't that remind you of like watermelon? Like, it's so pretty. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous. The next shade that I'm going to share with you is one that I also shared in my last video that I did like this. This one is Moonlit. It's the most stunning, sparkly silver shade you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, what? It's just beautiful. Like, do you see that? It doesn't get much more stunning than that in terms of like a silver. It's almost more of like a white gold shade than it is a silver, like when you see it in person. It's just truly beautiful. Now, whenever I do like a Christmas look during Christmas time, I always reach for this shade here. Man, it's hard just to grab one shade. This shade is Asteria, and I've really enjoyed this one as long as I've had it. It's a really beautiful shifty green and maroon shade, but it kind of comes across as like green and red. Kind of like Christmassy. So yeah, I really enjoy wearing this right around the holidays. You could do it like a one done. You can throw like a matte brown in the crease and then put this all over the lid, and it's just a really beautiful shade. I do have quite a few of these in my collection, dupes of this one. I don't necessarily still need it, but I do still love this shade from Davina. Okay, do I want to highlight any more Davina shadows? I think that's it for now. They did just come out with the Halo Moon collection, and it is some iridescent shades here at the bottom. This one right here is called Esmeralda, and it's kind of like Red Giant, but this one's very flaky. I'll just try to do it like this because it makes a mess. Yeah, I mean, it's still very beautiful. You can see it's got that really strong pinky red shift to it. So I do really love that. I just don't love how flaky it is. It's like overly, not even flaky, but powdery. I don't know how to describe it, but it makes an absolute mess when you try to swatch it or use it. It's still gorgeous, and I'll definitely still use it. It's just a little messy. And then at the bottom, I do want to share with you all a few of my Glam Shop shadows. So the first one that like really screams out to me, besides the hollows, I'll wait on those, I'll show you those in a second, is this one right here. And this one is called Fashion for Success. I had to look at it. I couldn't remember the name of it. Like, it's an interesting name, but the reason why I like these is because they're so unique in the way that they are chunky and very reflective, almost like, it almost reminds me of like the flakes that you buy, but they're more of in a solid form. Very shifty, shiny, all that jazz. These also stain, so you kind of have to be careful. But you can see the different colored flakes in it when you swatch it out. I love it. I think it is so beautiful. I just thought that it was going to be more like red toned, I guess. And a couple times I've tried to use it and it definitely pulls more pink. Like here it definitely looks more red. Don't let it fool you. It's still a gorgeous shade though. Those, I believe, are one of their marbled shadows, and they do have quite a few. They're all really beautiful. The next one I want to share with you is this really stunning orange, and it is called Scandal. And Scandal is this really stunning bright orange shade, and it's got a yellow shift to it. It's just gorgeous. Like, look at that. Again, very chunky. Kind of reminds you of like the flakes that are in, you know, the flakies or whatever that you can buy, but it's in solid form. But God, when you put it on the lids, it's just next level. Like, it really stands out because it's so freaking reflective. I love them. Another shade that I want to share with you from Glam Shop is Abracadabra. And this one you like wouldn't think that it'd be one that I would necessarily, I don't know, think is all that special. And I hope that I can get the color to convey to you because it is. It's so different. It's like a grungy olive gray / green, but it's got this really unique shift to it. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just going to have to show it to you. Well, I've got like other colors in there that aren't supposed to be there. Just pay attention to the tip of my finger here. But do you see how different and beautiful this is? It's a grungy, grayish, like olive khaki, green, gray, I don't even know. And it's got this pink shift. Like, look how pretty. It's just unique. I love it. Then last but not least of my Glam Shop shadows are the incredible hollow shades down here at the bottom. I've got this one here, which is called Bahar Hollow. Glam Shop is a Polish brand, so I'm not going to be able to pronounce the names, but it's like a very beautiful silver holographic shade. It's got some pink in there. I'm going to try to actually swatch this one out like on my hand. I'm hoping you all can see the holographic effect of this one. It is, I just didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it was possible to create a holographic shadow that didn't have like actual glitters in it. Because there is no glitters in here. It's just pigment and it's stunning. Like, it is legit a holographic shadow. I hope you can see that. Like, are you kidding me? It is so beautiful. But they have several different like shades of holographic shadows. They had that one. They have a, I don't know, like a coppery one. I can't pronounce them, but they're all different shades of holographic shadows. Whoa, that's going to create a mess. But again, stunning holographic shade. Just beautiful though. Absolutely beautiful. And then there is like a regular traditional holographic shade that doesn't have the funky colors. I have glitters and chunks of sparkly shadows everywhere. Right here. And this one is just called Effect Hollow, I think. You can kind of see that one in the pan. Let's see if we can see it on my arm. Yeah, that one's got a little bit of like a gray base to it. Just so pretty. And I believe that's all I want to share with you from Glam Shop. I mean, I like more than just those shadows, but those are the absolute standouts for me. Well, now that I look like a sparkly vampire, I think that's all I want to share with you all today. I had a lot of fun sharing my special single sparkly shadows with you. I honestly could keep going. I have plenty more. I didn't share anything from JD Glow or Give Me Glow. I'm just going to be quite honest with you. I ran out of time. I do have favorites for them as well, but they are already included in the last one I did, because as of that last video, I'm pretty sure I already owned everything I have now of JD Glow and Give Me Glow. So there's really no point in me doing another one of those, since I would have the same thoughts to share. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you found this helpful if you've been looking for single shadows. Let me know down below, what are your favorite singles? Is there any specific brand that I need to try that I didn't mention here, or any specific singles that I didn't mention here that I need to try? I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing your all's thoughts. Chatting with you all in the comment section, it is the highlight of any video that I film. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did make it this far in the video and you're not subscribed yet, please tap that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss future uploads, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!